everyone, it's Miss Mieke again. I'm going to read a book about food for you this time. It's called Ramen for Everyone. Ramen is a noodle soup, right? We sometimes have cup of soup, cup of noodles, and ramen is one of those noodles. Sometimes we have them in our store here. Sometimes you can find them like this, right? It also says ramen, and those are the noodles. Can you see them? And it's like in a broth, and some people like to put things on top of it. So you can buy it that way. Some people like their ramen noodles like this. It's a package, and then you have to cook it. You have to use water and a pot on the stove. The other things you're gonna see in this book are something called nori. And nori is actually seaweed. Look, this says nori. Can you see what it looks like? It's dried seaweed. Seaweed's usually in the water, right? But in some cultures, in some kitchens, they use nori for food. And actually, I really like it. I buy it like this. Seaweed snacks. Delicious. Very healthy. The other thing you're gonna see is pictures where kids are using and adults are using chopsticks to eat. Here you go, you grab it like this. Bing, bing. It's pretty easy to use except with noodles that are slippery, but still, you'll see that in the pictures that the people in this family use chopsticks. Just like this, instead of forks and spoons, they use chopsticks. So here we go. Let's read about Ramen for Everyone. It's by someone called Patricia Tumiharda. Probably said the name wrong, but I tried. Ramen for Everyone. Here we go. Here's our character. His name is Hiro. See how he's using the chopsticks to eat noodles? And here's some of the food that he uses in with his noodles. And it says, Hiro loves ramen with nori seaweed. That's the seaweed we just showed. He also likes it with nitamago egg, the yolk golden like the sun. So when he has his soup, he likes to have seaweed in it and some egg. And he also likes some pork. It's called chasu pork, rolled pork like this. He likes that in his soup as well. So tender, it melts in your mouth. Look at how happy he is eating his ramen noodles. Most of all, Hiro wants to make the perfect bowl of ramen. So just like his family, he wants to learn how to make this ramen soup from scratch. Just like his dad and his dad's dad before that, every Sunday, Hiro's dad makes ramen for dinner. So here are the pictures of the whole family. And for generations, for families with many, many grandfathers and great-grandfathers, they all made the noodle soup. Here, when I was growing up in Hawaii, I watched Grandpa make ramen too, says Dad. That's how I learned. So Dad is literally making ramen from scratch. He's got his big knife. Hiro's writing down the recipe, and they're gonna make ramen noodles together. Here they are, doing everything they need to do. So Dad is very good. He chops the pork himself. He has the soup on the stove. He's slicing and simmering all the vegetables. Look at that, makes me hungry. Then he's adding seasoning. So that's gonna make it a little spicy or a little salty or whatever they like. And Hiro's watching. Grandpa's secret to rich, flavorful broth, he's reading the recipe book, and Hiro says, is patience. Because once it's all in the bowl, you have to wait. In the microwave, it goes really fast, but when you cook it like this, it takes a much longer time. And guess what? On top of everything else, Hiro's dad makes the noodles. So he mixes flour, he slices the dough, and then he dips it in the boiling soup. That's incredible. He's making the noodles from scratch, see? Mixing the flour, slicing them into noodles, and dropping them into the soup. Grandpa says the noodles should be soft and springy, just like your earlobe. That's how they test if the noodles are ready. They push on their earlobe. Right here, this is your earlobe, and it has to have the same feeling like your earlobe. That's how they know the noodles are ready. Finally, now that the noodles are in, Dad also shreds some vegetables, steeps some more into the soup, stews them, and then, ta-da! He's feeling tired but happy, and Hiro is writing it all down because Hiro wants to make his own bowl of soup and become a good cook just like his dad. So Dad made the soup and the family is eating. Look, this is where they have the chopsticks, right? These are the chopsticks that I showed you. Whoops, I'm going to show you again if I pick them up. These are the chopsticks, just like this. That's what they're holding to eat their soup. They're going to eat the noodles and the egg and the pork and some vegetables and some nori seaweed. The dog wants some too. Hiro and his dad are eating it as well. And to finish, a touch of toppings for everyone because you can't argue with taste. So right on the top is all that delicious stuff, and Dad is very proud of his soup. And Hiro's eating it very, very happily. He must have been hungry too. Look at the family here. Hiro has been studying Dad's technique for some time. When his 7th birthday comes, Hiro decides he's ready. So now he thinks he's old enough to make his own bowl of soup. I'm a big boy now, and I'm gonna make the perfect bowl of ramen. That's what he wants to do now that it's his birthday. His wish is to make the perfect bowl of ramen. Now we saw he was taking notes, right? So the next day, Hiro studies his notes. He puts on his apron right here, and he rolls up his sleeves. So he looks at his notes, he puts on his apron, and he rolls up his sleeves. That means he's ready. He looks very, very ready, doesn't he? And his dad is a little nervous. So Dad goes, Hiro says, let's make ramen. And Dad goes, okay, chef. He's gonna let Hiro lead the cooking lesson this time. Instead of Dad making the ramen noodles, Hiro's gonna try. So first, Hiro tries to make the soup. Broth, rich and flavorful. He takes a sip and uh-oh. Look, I don't think the soup tastes the same as when Dad makes it. He's going, bleh. Then he says, all right, well, I'll try making the noodles next. Maybe I'll have more luck with that. So the soup didn't turn out too good. He's now gonna try making the noodles. He's still trying to do it on his own. So he remembers noodles have to be soft and they have to be springy like our earlobe, remember? So now he's taking the flour and making the dough and he's slacking it and thumping it and bumping it, just like he saw Dad do. But then look, it's all gooey. It's like gack. Ugh, squishy. It didn't come out like Dad's at all. And he says, ugh, well, I guess we make the toppings now. And Dad is thinking, you got this, son. So his soup didn't come out too good, so he tried to make the noodle dough, and that came out all squishy. So now he's gonna try and go for the toppings. And he's trying, look at the kitchen. There's so much stuff everywhere. It's a little bit of a mess, right? Because Hiro's trying to do it all on his own. It says, the seaweed crumbles, there it is. And the eggs slip through his fingers. And the pork falls apart. He doesn't cut it like Dad. And there are no toppings for anyone. Hiro tried, but it turned into a big mess. He's not like Dad, right? Dad has had lots and lots of years of practice. So here we are. The broth is bland. The noodles, soggy. And now the toppings aren't good. You can't put them on. They're unfit to eat. So dinner is ruined. Hiro rips his apron off. He's so mad. Look at that face. That is an angry face. He's mad that his ramen is ruined. He throws everything in the trash. He still has his mad face and his mad eyes because the seaweed crumbled, the noodles were squishy, the toppings were ruined, the broth tasted horrible, so he's throwing it away. He's probably really disappointed, right? He tried to follow Dad's recipe, but it didn't work. Oh no, poor Hiro. Now it says, my ramen is horrible. It isn't perfect like yours. Ramen doesn't have to be perfect, says Dad. Mom and Mia are happy you're making dinner for them, and I bet you can still make their ramen special. So Dad's still proud of Hiro because he tried, right? And Mom and the sister, they're going to be happy too because they know Hiro's trying to do something for them. So I bet Dad's going to help. What do you think? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Hiro will help. That's it. Hiro had an idea. Look, he's whispering to Dad. Maybe he can save dinner after all. Hiro tells Dad his plan, and they go to work. Now, instead of Hiro doing it on his own, look, he's doing it with Dad's help. Dad is telling him how much spices and herbs to put in the broth. Dad is helping him make the noodles. Dad is making sure that the toppings come out just right. They're working together. Add some super special toppings. Coming right up, says Hiro. So now that Dad and Hiro are working together, it's working much better. Dad looks proud too. Hiro brings out the bowl of piping hot ramen. Cheesy ramen, how clever. Look, he turned it into cheesy ramen. And there are pears on there. I love Asian pears. So he made other toppings because they threw a lot of toppings out. So he had to try making a different kind of ramen noodle. Dad, I know how much you like Hawaiian pizza. And Dad goes, this bowl is perfect for me because it's like Hawaiian pizza. It has something sweet, the pears, and it has cheese. So they turned the ramen noodles into a Hawaiian ramen noodle. Hiro can't make broth that is rich and flavorful by himself yet. He can't make noodles that are soft and springy by himself yet. But he knows how to make the perfect bowl of ramen for Mom, Mia, Sushi, that's a cute name for a dog, and Dad. And I think that's the end of our story. So this story was about Hiro who wanted to make ramen noodles all by himself. And when he did it alone, they didn't turn out so good. But then he had to use different ingredients and he made cheesy ramen and that turned out pretty tasty. So I hope you liked the story. And maybe if you haven't tried ramen noodles, try them sometime. They're delicious. Have a good one. Bye.